So those bags need to be battery made next time.
What?
Well, just talking about the polypropylene and
The polypropylene. Did you guys make it down there in Mexico?
So you buy the polypropylene, but yes, we made fabric. That was
China?
the Mexican company. No,
Where'd you buy that?
no, refineries actually produces it a byproduct. So it is a commodity effectively. You're buying it. So when I left, my partner,
That's somebody else's garbage.
yeah, sort of. I mean, but yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is, the environmentalists want to do away with the oil industry. Well, if you do away with the oil industry, you do away with that.
You do away with like
Byproducts, everything.
All right. It's Dudes Like
everything.
Us. It's
Plastic.
January 17th. We're on the second half
Everything.
of our
Clothing,
show.
makeup.
We're talking about
food.
all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah.
Robert's with us today. He's our special guest for Dudes Like Us. And we're talking about a myriad of opportunities that could be happening in Mexico to do some stuff. One of the business he made, he was talking about making these fucking bags. Anyways, Dudes Like Us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
Jeff, Robert.
Robert? I was going to say something. I'll let it
Yeah,
go.
go ahead. Fuck it.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. We have some sad news.
Who died?
Sad news.
Yeah,
died?
the world's oldest person, a French nun, dies at a...
Paul.
How old?
112.
How old do you... Paul,
I didn't do that.
how old do you think the oldest person just died? How old?
178.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
I'm going to go a little
Martian.
lower. I'm going to say
Wow.
116.
116.
Ooh,
All right, Paul,
Robert.
you want to second guess that?
Robert. Guess,
Robert's at 112.
well, then guess 1 year. You probably win.
Where are you at?
Quite honestly, okay. So
You just looked at my
generally-
screen, so-
no, I didn't. 100 and
He's deaf.
I'm
You
gonna go with
didn't see that.
114.
Whoa, I saw it.
Oh, you motherfucker. It's 118.
Oh, I was close.
Damn.
You're close.
All
You're
right.
really close.
All right,
118.
the French, a French
That's
nun,
insane.
Sister Andre, the world's oldest known person, died on Tuesday at the age of 118 in the southern city of Toulon.
So my question is, do you want to live that long?
Yes. I mean, if I'm in good health and I'm happy,
Well,
and
is she able to get around, wipe her ass?
Probably.
I mean, I'm sure she's got some sort of
You got people for that.
a bidet, that-
No,
She's
I mean,
French?
that's the thing.
look
Is
at
that a French?
If your quality of life is good at 118,
Show a picture of her.
where you're just like, this
Oh,
is
dude,
this
she
is
looks
great.
like the fucking emperor from Star Wars. I mean,
Well,
she's
that's what I mean. I mean, it's like, no, that's not her. Is
Well,
it?
you know,
yeah, that's her.
the Dalai Lama said
Or
that
did-
life
or
goes
did
on
Dalai
long after the
Lama.
thrill of life of living is gone.
On your deathbed, you will receive total consciousness.
Oh my God! You got to give us some context here.
Yeah.
Caddyshack, baby.
Oh,
Bill
yeah.
Murray.
Yes.
You know what?
That's what Dolly said.
I-
Dolly. He said, Dolly. Look.
So yeah,
Well-
I've seen that movie, portions of that movie. I've never actually seen it end to end.
So I
And
was caddying for the Dalai Lama, eh?
At the age of 118 in the southern city of Toulon, the city's mayor, Hubert Farco, announced the news of her death on
Hubert.
Twitter. Wow, it was the most immense sadness and emotion that I've learned tonight of the passing of the world's oldest person. Hashtag Sister Andre.
So she was born in 1904.
Wow.
She has a spokesperson.
My grandmother was born in 1903.
Dang.
She passed away when I was 10. But to put that in
So she lost.
perspective,
She lost this.
she lost
contest?
this game. Yes.
My great grandfather lived to be 99. He was born before 1900.
Born
Yeah.
as well, you know,
You know
what?
what?
Look, hats off to her for. I want to do a little commemorative tour and then talk a little bit about her, and then we can continue on with this thing because 118, I think, deserves a little dudes like us
Oh
moment.
yeah, sure.
So
Sure.
she's born
still-
as
I still go-
Lucille Randon on February 11th, 1904. Can you imagine 1904? And I mean, that's before the Roaring Twenties. That's before
World War One
Uh,
and Two.
That's before
yeah,
cars.
it's the World War. That's,
essentially.
yeah, I think
Before
the
cars.
combustion engine started coming around in 1918. Was that the combustion engine?
16.
It
You
was
know, so
it-
she was still horse and carriage back then.
horse and carriage, and
She probably
you
had
know,
the toy where it was like a round thing with a
Oh.
stick.
probably drink a cola with cocaine in it.
Well, did you already say electricity?
Well, static electricity.
No, I mean in
She probably had
1904 in
candles.
1904 they had invented electricity, but tons of towns and homes didn't have it.
Well, yeah, it's probably they shouldn't have TV or the Xbox.
Well, she had the Xbox. Don't be stupid. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, Jeff. Everyone's ever
Right.
had an Xbox.
She didn't have indoor
An
plumbing.
iPhone.
I'm sure she crapped outside.
She shat in an outhouse.
Yeah,
Here's the
until She
question.
was in her 20s.
None. Did she have sex or not?
Ooh.
Ooh, let's ask her.
118
Let's ask
years of celibacy.
Ouch.
Well, she
I-
Just
could.
bringing it up. I'm just touching
Well, she
the
could have
head.
boned
they count
someone
the,
before
they count
she
the
went.
rings on the tube.
Okay, are we paying tribute to her, or are we? I'm
Based on that
sure
photo.
She
I'm
became
pretty sure she
the
boned
world's
somebody.
eldest following the death of Kane Tanaka, a Japanese woman previously certified as the world's oldest person who died at the age of 119, which is odd because she's 118, so why would she be the fucking oldest?
Because the other
Well,
one's
because
dead.
the other one died.
Oh,
Before
she's
her.
still alive. I thought she just died.
No, it says world's oldest person dies at the age of 119.
Can't catch up if you're older.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
okay. Well, you know
yeah.
what?
She's
So
never gonna catch her.
How did we get to this?
I don't know.
That's
She
my
became
question.
the world's oldest. Okay, so the title of the oldest person ever recorded also belongs to a French woman born on the 21st of 1875. Jean-Louis Calment's life spanned 122 fucking years and 164 days, according to the Guinness World Book of Records. So
I don't know.
122 plus 164.
I look at quality of life.
Well, there you go. The quality of life. That's why I have Alexa.
I mean, wow. Look at
Oh,
that.
God.
I mean,
That-
come on.
That is your definition of
Oh.
quality of
Kumquat.
life.
Dude, that is, I imagine there's a lot of quats coming in that thing.
Kumquat.
I mean, look at this guy right there. What's up
That
with
is
that?
the definition of nut eye.
Okay.
He's 256 years old.
What is that? That's like a
That's
fucking,
muzzin.
it's like catcher's mitt. What's
You know, I've always wondered. All right, so let's go not with 118 years old, but let's go with the standard 85 years old, right? A person, a normal person.
she had lip injections. You see that?
So
get
Jeff.
Oh, hold on.
Duck-
Check
duck
out
face.
homeboy in the bottom center, and he's got his mouth open like he's got a prune stuck in there.
So you're making fun. You're making fun of very old people.
You know what? I'm going to be old eventually. People can make fun of me if
No.
I can ever get that age.
No, we make fun of you now. You don't
Anyway,
need to-
your question.
You-
Sean,
Well,
Paul.
you know, a normal person who lives what? What's the standard? Like 80 years old?
Actually, I think it's 70 something.
All right, let's just go with 80. All right, so let's go with 80.
the hell.
What
man.
what would be the most impactful 80-year period where that person saw the most change in the world?
Probably
So what generation?
Probably
World War
80
II.
years.
our parents or our grandparents. Because you think about it, if you're born in 1900,
The Great War.
that means you died in 1980. You missed all the internet shit.
Yeah,
So if you're born in 1940s,
but
like
you get to
our
miss
kids,
Bobby Brown. So
Yes,
there's
but if you're
that.
born in the 40s, I mean, you miss war. I don't know, man. You miss World War One,
Well,
World War
what-
Two.
well,
But
what
as
if-
far as progress,
Right.
I think the technology plays a huge role in it. I,
I think if
the,
you-
the cell phones and the
I think-
streaming of services.
I think born in the 20s. Well, not just that, but think of the transportation, airplanes.
Yeah, well,
I think is bigger than the internet, right? Because that opened the world. If you're born in the 20s, that gets you to 2000
Right.
at 80, right? So you see the beginning of the internet at least.
So that covers both world wars, all the shit that happened in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
and the
90s.
beginning of the cell phone era.
Yeah,
because you
it's-
probably have the Nokia phones back then, and the.
But I'm thinking more like 1870, 1870 to pass the World War, or 1880
well, I mean, what
to
is
pass
that?
the World
what
Wars.
is-
That's to 1960.
1960.
Not jack shit happened in 1870.
I know.
Well, that's what I mean.
I'm thinking,
Well, there you go. So you have a kid that grew up born in 1880.
He didn't live to 80.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying they lived 80.
Yeah, it's like the grapes of wrath.
He didn't live to 80. If you were born in 1870, you lived to 1910.
30, 40 years old.
I think 1920.
50 max. Like, yeah. 1910,
Yeah,
1920.
if you didn't get hurt on the farm doing
Yeah.
something silly.
I think 1920 because you
Once
get
you
the
pull
wars.
up average life expectancy for somebody born in 1870.
We looked at that.
Well, but I bet you
And
there
it's
is
low.
somebody that lived
it's
80
fucking
years.
low.
Oh, I'm sure there are
I'm sure there are
novelists, you know.
exceptions. Yeah, sure. Just like there's exceptions. People live 120 years old.
There we go.
That's called the tail of the curve.
But just
Yes,
imagine
Lord.
somebody that was born in
That is the
1880. They're
tail
by
of the
10 years
curve.
old. It's 1890, which is all 100% horses, carriages, right? No electricity,
That's-
candlelight, everything.
My great grandfather,
Right, exactly.
99 years old, died in a
no
chair.
gas, no oil, no
How old?
light,
99.
no nothing.
And died in what?
Died in his chair taking a nap.
No, I think he was asking what year. Were you asking what year he died?
No, it was
1898, 1890 something.
99 years old and died taking a nap in his chair.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
leaning on the table, or was he sitting up?
No, in a recliner.
He was doing shots.
Ah, okay.
It's fucking hammered.
They had recliners back in 1890.
no,
he,
when
he
was
was
100.
Oh, he was 99 years old.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's like Betty White. You know, she had like 4 days
Fuck
before she turned
yeah.
100.
I know. That
Oh,
was
yeah, that
crazy.
sucks.
You know,
I like that
Yeah.
chick. She was so funny.
She was
Oh.
funny, man.
she wasn't allowed,
So
witty.
fucking funny.
wasn't
and
allowed
witty-
to play with
witty-
Legos anymore.
Witty until the end.
Dry.
Oh,
Like-
But had her faculties
We-
like to the end.
100%.
we enjoyed listening to her on the Saturday Night Live experiences when she's
Oh yeah.
talking
yeah.
about the muffins,
National Public Radio.
I'm talking about her cooch,
the NPR.
Betty White's cooch.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Oh,
Gotta
my
love
muffin
it.
tops.
Yes.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know. If I'm still able to do things when I'm 100, then okay. But if I'm relegated to a bed, yes, doing that in my pants, like because you're gonna outlive your family.
But yeah.
You know, if you're 118, you're most likely outliving your family.
Yep.
Yeah.
So your entire family and your friends are
Maybe your kids.
dead. That's what I mean. Your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you had a kid at 20, they'd be 100 almost.
Yeah. Seriously. Seriously. You have a 100-year-old daughter.
I saw a I think it
Can
was
you imagine that?
I
on
know.
A
Instagram.
95-year-old daughter.
You know how the
Keep your
Instagram has
hair
little
long,
short
dude.
little video things you pop through?
Like
Well,
TikTok.
there was similar. So there's a judge that everyone knows, who I don't know his name, but he's very popular.
Judge
he's-
Brown,
Uh,
Wapner.
no, he's not Wapner or Judge Brown or Judge fucking Judy. He's I don't. So he's the 99-year-old man
242
is
toothpicks.
gets pulled over and is given a ticket.
I
And he's
saw
at
this.
court for the ticket. I don't remember what he's pulled over for. He said, "Why are you driving the car?" He said, "I had to take my son
I
because
saw
he's
this,
got
yeah.
cancer." And he's like, 90 years they were taking his son to the doctors because he had cancer. And it was like, "How old's your son?" 63. You know, it's just amazing. Guy's 99 years
Yeah.
old, driving his son
Still driving his son.
To the
to
doctor.
take care of him, to take him to the doctor because he has cancer.
Yeah,
Right.
he let him off. He's like, all right,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
off. No ticket.
Yeah, well, good.
So, did you guys hear that Biden approved? Taking a left turn here. Biden approved that we're going to start training Ukrainians on how to use the Patriot missiles.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were giving them the missiles. They should know how to do it. You know where they're training them?
It's just not a button that says
It's like
fire.
Oklahoma or something like
Oklahoma.
that. Yeah,
So
which is
hold
kind
on.
of crazy because the Patriot missile training facility is based out of Fort Bliss.
So hold
El
on
Paso.
for a second. So what Putin said was anyone, any country. I think that's your.
That's where I was going.
That's your more specific point, right?
Yeah, that's where I was going.
So we now have decided to trip into.
But no one's talking about that.
That's because there's no critical
Well,
thinkers. on the
I mean, how
planet.
is that different than what we've done so far? I mean, we've already given $50-60 billion
Wow.
in
No,
in
way
armament.
Yeah,
more
it's
than that.
100 plus billion.
Yeah, it's
100
way
plus
more than that.
billion in,
But
in
the
armament.
thing is that we've given the money for the Patriot missiles and the training. Germany, of all people, matched that. So Germany is now participating in it. And Germany was like
Because they're next in line.
Can we?
to be extinguished.
So here's my curiosity. I have this all the time. There are such things as assassins every day. How the fuck?
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
And then
How
I
is
killed
that man
Putin?
still breathing?
Or
Yeah.
Zelensky is still alive?
No, either
Any-
one.
Anyone that you want taken out. Why the fuck
either
are they
one.
still
Putin-
alive?
Right.
Putin or Zelensky.
Legit.
I mean, you can't.
How
think
much
Putin,
do you think it would cost for one of his close people to slip something in his shit? How many? How many millions?
So
10?
apparently
100?
Apparently,
50?
he lives in a bunker and has very strict contact. I mean, I don't
I
know.
get it. I'm just saying, they're like some
There's
badass
ways.
fucking weapons out there.
Well, and
Yeah. Well, they do. They annihilated somebody on a balcony with some sort of
Oh, there
very
was-
specific missile that
just saying,
when
like-
it got
yeah.
close, it exploded and it emitted an array of razors.
you're
It's
talking
just-
about
The
yes.
terrorist.
The terrorists. They waited for his family to go inside.
Oh,
they shot
in
this.
Afghanistan.
in
Yeah, they waited
Afghanistan,
for his
yeah.
family to go inside. They shot this missile off, and it was like it just pulverized him.
Yes, it shredded.
And didn't do anything to
shredded
the building. It was amazing. They can do the same shit, but they don't want to. You know why? Because Putin knows way too much about the Clintons, who
Well,
He
the
be
U.S.
dead.
Yeah, but the U.S. is not
Huh?
going to.
He be dead.
Yeah, the U.S. is not going to call the hit on this. It would have to be Russian, somebody within Russia, like the oligarchs, right? But we've talked about that. There's been like 5 or 6 oligarchs that have totally died from mysterious,
He's killing
mysterious
them off.
circumstances. Yes, Putin is killing them
systematically
before they kill him.
Before they
somebody
kill him.
just jumped off a building, and then the
Yep.
next day somebody else jumps off a building.
Right.
Really?
Well, I mean, it's an epidemic
Coincidentally?
right now.
Wow.
I'm just, I
It's
just don't
ridiculous.
understand.
I
I don't
agree.
understand, like,
I'm actually shocked that it hasn't happened.
Well,
Wow.
to put it in that regards, I'm surprised just because of the political hot potato that everything is these days. I'm surprised it didn't happen when Obama was in office because there's assholes out there. And I'm surprised it didn't happen to Trump because they went fucking ballistic when he got in there. I'm surprised someone didn't try
Some psycho.
for those last 2.
it ain't. I mean, come
Well,
on. Can't be
there
that
were
fucking
some
hard.
crazy. I don't know if there were assassination attempts, but there were some attempts to get really close to him to do some harm.
To the
I mean,
White House, like they would find a car
My
with a whole bunch of
sister.
He was
weapons.
out speaking.
So wait a minute. So my sister is an attorney. She worked for firearms, doing patents for them, and they had a scope. It was a AI kind of scope, selling it to the military. This thing was doing 1,600-yard shots. Like,
Yeah, you can't stop that.
I'm just saying, like, the technology is.
How many miles is that?
It's not a mile yet.
1,600 yards.
5,280 feet is a mile.
1,600 yards. That's
300, yeah, 300 feet
So
a
it's a
year.
little under a mile.
Yeah, a little under.
What is that?
But again-
4,800 feet.
Yeah, but
But how do you? Well, as a Secret Service, they go out a certain ways to scope all of those areas. So now they're like, okay, now we need to go
he's
even
got a
further.
fucking pocket ghillie suit.
That's
That's
right.
Dude,
That's
That's
right.
true.
what the fuck?
Listen, guys, we've run the
God
numbers.
damn it!
We've run the numbers.
You see
It's
the
just-
footage.
We've
All,
run the
all of a
numbers.
sudden, he pops up in front of Trump, right in front of
He's
him.
got a pocket fucking ghillie suit, man.
Yep. I pop up in front of Trump. Hey, can I have your autograph?
Yeah, what a statement, man.
I mean, have you not seen Sniper and all those fucking movies? Like, those motherfuckers sit and pee on themselves. I mean,
Oh,
they
yeah.
defecate.
They
I
do.
just, I think it's, this
For
is
rubber
like- This is
jammies,
probably
man.
not the best conversation for us to have. I just think it's a lot more difficult than the logistics and timing and planning, and you don't know where they are. Thank God. And what would have to go into that to actually pull it off would be too hard.
Well, I remember I watched.
That's my take.
I mean,
again, this was a movie, and it had Bruce Willis, it was Day of the Jackal or something like that, and he had this big sniper gun mounted in the back of a van,
Oh yeah.
and he had
I remember
and it
that
was
movie.
remote control,
Yes.
I totally remember that movie.
and he was just like, boom, pushed the button. He was nowhere around,
Right.
right?
Like I said, I'm just teasing it.
Okay.
You know?
Well,
Spitballing here.
let me make one more point, and then we probably should move on to something else because this is kind of creepy.
We've already been flagged for COVID.
But the people
Oh, yeah.
the people who would need the hardware that we're talking about are not the people that would want to do it unless they're part of a elite conspiracy CIA.
Pocket
All right,
ghillie suit.
Pocket
All right,
ghillie
let's
suit.
let's be clear. Elon Musk announced in an interview within the last year that the technology is already out there currently. What is that?
That's
Not
someone's
me.
phone.
Oh, we got a child abduction in Midland, Texas.
I don't have that.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I turned those off.
Yeah.
Well,
Fuck
I
'em.
care.
Apparently
so
we don't
there's
care.
that.
Kidding.
You carry
So Elon Musk, he was talking in an interview saying how they could have the technologies are currently out there where they can have a swarm of the
Drones.
the drones come in there with some face recognition thing where you can't stop them. I mean, if Putin is in a public area, there is nothing his guys can do. Shy of dropping an EMP to stop those drones from coming in and just whacking him.
And that's my point. The people who have the technology and the wherewithal to do that, it would have to be a rogue state.
You'd have to be a state sponsor to get
That's
it done.
exactly right.
All you have to
exactly
have
right.
is a suitcase of a dozen fucking drones. They're all pocket size. You
But
open
they're
up the
not
suitcase.
they're not regular drones that you could buy off of Target.
No, they could be.
Amazon.
All they have to be are drones with technology in them. The technology is nothing.
To do what?
They have a very small amount of explosive in them, and the drones are designed to come
But
up
you have
to
to
the
buy
face.
the explosive. That's not easy to get either.
Right.
Hell, you can go.
We're just
collect-
talking about.
you
We're
can-
still talking about governments being able to do it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it
Okay,
doesn't take a whole lot
governments
for
can
those
pull it off,
explosives.
of
I'm not
course.
saying you need C4. I mean, really, it takes. They were saying it takes very little explosive to have one of those things hit your head and explode. It doesn't take much. I mean, you could take a 9mm and
That much.
have a blank in the 9mm, hold it up to your head, and kill yourself with the blank 9mm.
Right.
So that's the same thing. If one of those drones were disposable, imagine one little bullet in there with.
I'm just saying.
Well, you see
Kim
it.
Jong Un,
What?
Putin. Like, how are these guys alive?
I know.
I'm just curious.
To be
I,
honest,
I've
I'm
always
more-
wondered.
I'm more surprised that Zelensky's still alive.
Well, because he's actively trying to kill him and sending a lot of people to do it.
But he could travel over to the U.S.
I know.
They sure can. That's because we protect him. We probably have our Navy SEALs protecting him right now.
Probably moving him constantly.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that there's some. I mean, look.
Pocket ghillie suit.
Yeah, I am sure
Listen,
that
Robert, they haven't called me.
I am
okay?
sure that he has
I will
got
let
a
you know if they
laundry
call me.
list of reasons to throw the United States under the bus, especially Biden and Hillary. I mean, with all the chemical labs that they have over there, with all the energy businesses dealings they were doing over there. I mean, why does Zelensky, who was a comedian
Yeah, he's a comedian.
in his past life, why does he have billions of dollars in the bank? How the fuck did he make all that money?
I don't know.
Was he that funny?
I think
didn't
Hunter Biden gave it to him.
You know what the point is? He's got billions of
Well,
dollars in the
Ukraine
bank.
was an extremely corrupt country before all this happened.
Most
Right.
countries
So they
are.
probably
Yeah.
still are.
Well, this was even worse,
Well,
right?
this
Do
is
you-
worse because it was based on all that. And you know what? You got the CIA is.
Do you remember the North Korean official that was murdered, assassinated when they took a cloth and put it over his mouth with poison
Yeah.
in the airport?
Yeah.
These
No.
this woman walked up and put a thing over his mouth and walked off.
And he just died.
He died.
Just like that. Just kind of started choking. His face swelled up like an
Yeah.
orange.
Couldn't save him.
Oh, there's footage of this?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
good Lord. No,
Well,
I don't remember
in fact,
seeing
I
that.
You
think
don't
they
remember
found those
that?
women. They found those women.
Yes, they
and
did.
what those women were, I think there was two of them, and
Two
they
of
said we were hired just to do that. We don't have any idea why we did it. We just said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Unreal.
I didn't know I was hurting him.
Tough childhood on those.
Well, you also saw the footage
Boom.
where the ex-Japanese prime minister
Yes.
got shot by that huge handmade gun. You see that footage?
Oh, I didn't know it was a handmade gun, but I
Yeah,
remember
well-
somebody shooting him at close
Well,
range.
Japan.
yes.
Well, Japan is
The guy running for office.
no gun. No, he
No,
was
no,
the
no,
next
no.
prime minister.
Former prime minister.
Like,
With all the shady dealings he's doing.
Well, like it'd be like the killing Bush or
Mm.
Clinton, right? But it was handmade, and you just this huge plume of smoke comes bursting out because it was handmade. And
it
it was
killed him.
huge. It killed him, though. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Did.
That was a big deal.
So there was with Putin. There was what is that? The little small fighter, Irish dude. I'm trying to remember what his
Conor
name
McGregor.
is.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, there's a picture with Putin and he were
Some little
He's
Irish
so
dude.
angry. He's so angry.
yeah, he is a little angry motherfucker.
He's very
But
angry.
he was up with Putin, and he comes up to Putin and puts his arm around him, and he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And his security guy was like, "Yeah, you need to take your arm off right now." And I saw the look on McGregor's face. He was kind of like, "Oh shit!" He
Before
comes out
we
and it's-
remove the arm,
yeah,
like
Yeah.
permanently.
well,
He
you know
probably
what?
said, "I will whip all of you motherfuckers."
and Putin was kind of like,
Well, he lost a string of them though. He
Yeah.
lost some big
Oh,
high
dude, I
profile. He was
guarantee
talking
you.
all sorts of shit, and he lost some pretty high profile matches.
I'm
right?
pretty certain that Putin's guys would take out Colin for sure, man. There's
Well,
funny.
McGregor, he's what 5'6", 5'7". Doesn't mean he can't kick all our asses here, but
oh
he's
yeah,
not a
for
big
sure.
guy.
Well, I'll shoot him.
yeah,
I won't even give him an opportunity. Man.
well, that's true.
He'll come through the door and be like, "Yeah, you're gone, bro."
So you get that going for me, which is nice.
Yeah,
Poor Caddyshack.
The luck of the Lucky Charms. Bring it on in. The Murphy style.
You know, when you were saying put his arm around him, it made me think of. I know there's kind of a left turn, but have you guys seen
When you fell down in the bar on top of me?
No.
Oh,
Dry-
okay.
Have you
he,
seen
like,
the
dry humped him?
Have you seen the Martin Luther King statue?
Oh
that's
my God.
bad.
It
It's
looks like a bag
so-
of dicks, man. What the hell is all
So
about?
bad. So it's.
They spent $10 million on
I
that.
finally figured out what it was supposed to be. It's
And
the
did
embrace.
they take down the
It's
Abraham Lincoln statue to replace that with?
It's a picture of the embrace. All right. So there you see Martin Luther King hugging his wife. All right.
That looks like a whale
Hold on.
penis.
I know. No. Well, hold on. Go, can you scroll the other way to where he's hugging his wife?
He's well endowed.
There's that black and white picture. That right there. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
So that is what the statue is.
Well, they missed the mark on that.
So you have to see different angles of it, right?
Yeah. Well, I
So
saw the
those
angle where they
hands-
had
those
a
hands.
meme with what's the big black guy's name? Mike Wood. What's his name? Wood.
BBD.
Yeah, BBD. They had Michelle Obama's face, his body, and that.
I know it's awful. All right, but so hold on. Those hands right there are her hands.
I'm putting
Behind-
the helmet back on.
Right. Those are her hands that you can't see in that black and white picture.
Yeah, but what is she
That's
holding?
supposed to be his back or his shoulder, right?
Correct.
That's
Correct.
what
Those
they
are her hands
beg.
underneath on his shoulder.
They
yes,
did
on
a
his shoulders.
very
terrible.
very poor choice.
Well, that angle is absolutely it's absolutely horrible. But if you see a different angle, you'll see his hands crisscrossed, but it's so bad. There it is. You can see. So now those are his hands around her shoulders.
No, it's terrible.
But is it
It's
true that they
terrible.
took down the Abraham Lincoln statue to put that there?
I didn't hear that.
I don't know.
I didn't hear that.
No, I think what the argument is
Disappointed.
they are pulling down these statues and
And replacing him with that.
replacing them with that. They spent
Look,
$10 million
Here-
on
look,
that.
here's my thing about
Oh,
Martin Luther King and Martin
God.
Luther King Day. And I don't care. People are going to call me racist.
Oh,
they can
boy.
all kiss my ass one at a
Here
time.
we
All right.
go.
So here's the thing. I don't not think that Martin Luther King Day is important because I do. However, it's a bank fucking holiday. I mean, why isn't President's Day a bank holiday? Why isn't Abraham Lincoln, George Washington's? Why aren't those guys? Why is it Martin Luther King? Why is he so much better than the rest? And they talk that what about what is that what they call what is the white what is the not white supremacy? What is the white privilege? Is that white privilege to have Martin Luther King Trump presidents? Day?
I think it's a
What?
hat tip. I think it's a hat tip to the minority.
Whatever.
to the
You know what?
minority,
I disagree. I think it's bullshit, and I think a hat tip is racist. I don't care what direction it goes. I don't care if any direction, even white.
Yeah,
Period.
Yeah,
It's bullshit, and it's frustrating because it's a. And look, I'll take a day
I think
off.
so. I'm going to take. I don't really have a perspective, but I like to critically think about things. So, average human. No, just like Joe Populous. He didn't have a name. He didn't mean jack shit. Wasn't a president. No influence whatsoever. And yet, gained and garnered and made changes and got a pretty decent amount of momentum
Oh yeah,
to change perspectives.
very influential man.
And so, but coming up from a zero perspective instead of starting here. I'm just saying. You ask why.
So you think that accomplishment was significant enough for him to have
To have had the impact. So it's mostly about, in most cases in these scenarios, it's about winning hearts and minds.
right?
And so I'm just saying
So that's
If-
that's Sean's question. What does it take to have
That-
your own holiday?
that's why I was
So
yeah, I mean,
has he won enough
I
hearts and
don't,
minds?
I don't want to take away from Martin Luther King
No,
because I
know,
think
I
he
get it.
was a great person,
Yeah.
and I think what he represents is valid and is so important in our history.
He was
I
very
actually-
he was very conservative. by
I
the way.
actually
He was
I actually,
Republican.
Yeah, I actually listened to something just inadvertently on Instagram the other night on MLK Day, and it was something that I hadn't really considered before, but it was, what he was talking about, the way we talk about pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps, and what he was saying was, and I'm a pretty open thinker about lots and lots of shit. And so I'm sitting there and he's talking about, well, here's the thing. The one thing that happened that is that there was a stigma created about the color of the skin.
right.
And that was the thing that made the ability to pull ones up from the bootstraps
Even
very
more
difficult. And when the emancipation happened, there was a release, but it was only a release because never worked effectively, had a stigma, and had no boots on, but were told to be pulled up by the bootstraps. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But they weren't wearing any boots because they had no basis for those boots effectively.
Right.
They had been kept, fed,
No
housed,
capability to
and
even
so
do that.
and it was an interesting perspective. I have pretty strong opinions about a lot of shit like that.
Right.
And today, I don't buy it. But at that moment in the universe, what I'm looking at, and I'm like, I guess, it'd be like telling your 9-year-old,
Sure.
You really need to figure out the world. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, like what the hell are you talking about? Right.
And so you basically enter the world as a newborn and when I turned 50, my word was context. Because if you don't have context, you don't have shit.
Right.
You can pause it, you can think, you can do anything you want. But if you don't understand how something is done, happens, otherwise is affected,
Sure.
that kind of shit, you have zero ability to draw a critical thought about it.
Right.
And therefore, you have to go through it, think through it, experience it in order to gain the context to actually be aware of those components. And so I was like,
I
okay,
personally think to build on that,
interesting.
I think that's why we have the divide that we have. Neither side can derive context from where they're coming from.
I mean, I can't go. I know today, and
Yeah.
I can appreciate. I mean, I grew up in Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Right.
I have a lot of decent context for some of these things, and so, but in relation to the beginnings,
Right. Historical.
and there's parts of it I'm like, okay, I don't get that, but that has. I wouldn't want to take the other side of that argument in that instance.
Right. Well,
But
remember,
only-
perception is reality, right?
Well, it's like
Perception and context is all very relevant here.
I just take a juxtaposition. I put myself in that moment as a I used to say I want to be able to think about something by putting it in a black box, unaffected by emotion or opinion.
Sure.
And
Total
just
objective.
sit there and look at it,
Right.
And it spins around, and I take it into awareness.
Right.
I was like, and again, I hadn't heard that, and it was him speaking to a reporter about what it is, and I was like,
Right.
fuck, I have some pretty strong opinions about that, but that kind of fucks him up a little bit.
Right. No, I get it.
Just personal,
Yeah.
right? I'm just saying,
No, I
Probably
honest.
because
totally
they
get
weren't having a holiday, though. I mean,
again,
that's the real meat of the story.
well, but the meat of the story is you said why,
Yeah.
and I'm saying
Well, I mean, if there is a why, that would be the strongest notion why. But I still don't think it's enough.
I don't really have I don't feel strong enough awareness to be able to levy that.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
But
So
here's
I'm
the
not-
thing: I obviously don't give a shit
well, I mean,
whether it is a
keep-
day or not a day.
Yeah, keep in mind there's a lot of days. If you look if you look at a calendar, you'll find there's a ton of days, like designated days, but we don't think about them, we don't know about them because they're not a bank holiday.
Yeah, they're not.
So
a bank
I think
holiday.
Martin Luther King Day started out as a day, just a designated day out of respect and admiration for the man and his legacy in his life. It started out as a day, and then as his history went on, it gained steam, it gained popularity, it gained like awareness.
No,
and
it only gained
became-
wokeness. That's the only
became
reason.
a bank holiday.
I disagree.
I don't think it was a bank holiday to begin with.
I don't think it was.
No, it
That's
wasn't
not
because a
that's
lot of companies still don't even celebrate it.
No.
I don't have the day
I was
off.
working.
Yeah, I worked yesterday.
I mean,
My people
I
were
work too,
working.
but I mean, we technically had it off. It's in the books as having off, but our company strongly requested for us to help out, but due to the constraints we have on our business right now.
And I'm trying to think when I was growing up in school, we didn't get MLK Day off for
No.
school back
Hey,
when.
No,
look,
it didn't start
I
that
don't
way.
give a shit
It
either.
That's what I
absolutely
mean.
didn't start
I
that
just
way.
think it's not. I just think it's fucked up that we don't. There aren't more reciprocal days for. It has nothing to do with black, white, yellow.
Right,
I don't
no,
give
I
a
get
fuck.
it. I get
Why
it.
do you not
It's
have
just
an
like,
Abraham Lincoln Day?
they took that away. They took away George Washington Day. You know, they
Well, no,
took.
those days are still there. They're just not bank holidays.
You pull up a calendar and show me the day.
They're on there.
I haven't seen one. I haven't seen. Look, I'm a little bitter about it. Obviously, because they're not there. You say they're there, and they may be on some digital camera, but they're not there. They start slowly and surely, like the history books in our classrooms, they're starting to strip that shit away.
Correct. That is happening. And they may still be on the calendars, but like to Sean's point,
They're
are
not
they going to be
celebrating
are they going to be there in 5 years?
The bottom line is they're not celebrating them, is what you're saying. They're not acknowledging them.
So
Yeah,
I love the root of things. So here's the question. So are emotions always real?
for the person experiencing them, yes.
I was going to say perception.
But you
is-
go back, honest. You
Perception
go back
is
to often
reality,
time.
right?
You go back to your spouses. You go back and you go, I shouldn't have done that.
Right.
So were they
It was
real?
real at the time. No.
No. But were they real?
Well, if the fucking pan is hot, and at the time you touch it and it burns you,
Here's
it's
the thing.
hot.
So in this case, almost all of these things are based on emotion.
Oh, right.
You mean
Yeah.
the declaration of the day or our feelings towards it?
So the erasing of history is about emotion.
Well, I mean, look, the
Well, I think
racing
it's a
history
I think
is,
it's a
is-
fact too.
but that is something that's been going on for
But if
forever,
you were
for
critical,
centuries.
but if you're a critical thinker, and because here's the thing, if you hold something in its it is what it is, right? It happened, it didn't happen, doesn't really matter. Ultimately, emotion is what causes you to want to remove it from the effects that it has on.
Well,
the
what is that
emotion.
emotion though? The anger,
It is emotion.
resentment.
All of those things.
I mean, think about the history. Let's go back all the way to the. I'm not going to say Egyptians or stuff. I'm going to say some of the stone temples in 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, where these things are being defaced so that you don't know who those representatives were at the time, those leaders were at the time. You've got this lineage that they're talking about, king this, king that, and all of a sudden you're missing 2 or 3 plaques.
you don't censor the Bible, do you?
Well, you know what? The Bible's already been censored.
Oh, the Bible's bullshit. But anyway,
I'm just saying the Bible has already been censored. Okay,
The
it was
Bible is
censored
a
before it made it to the United States.
the Bible is a series of tribal stories taken 400, 600, 800 years. Have you ever played the game of telephone? It's fucking horseshit. And yet we trust this thing as though it is gospel with that word. And you are telling me this book wasn't written 400 years later.
But it's not just the Bible is a collection of
It's not even fables, dude.
commandments that people respect, whether you believe in God or not. These are solid things. Don't fuck your neighbors. Don't kill people.
Those are
don't
just-
steal shit.
Those are just principles. They have nothing
They
to
are
do with the
principles
Bible.
that they're outlining. They're guidelines of life. I'm not for or against the Bible. I'm just saying that's what these people are coming from. They have the New Testament and the Old Testament. The New Testament, in my opinion, is a bunch of flogged.
Dude, it's all a bunch of horseshit because
Wow.
it's not historically correct. You cannot. They didn't even have fucking paper, Holmes. They couldn't write that shit down. They sat around a fucking campfire and told stories to each other, and the stories they've changed the whole goddamn universe. It's bullshit. It's total bull fucking shit. That's why the Quran.
That's pretty hot sports opinions. But what I will tell you, there is not a more scrutinized book in the history of the world than the Bible.
But it doesn't matter
But
because
hold on.
yeah.
Let me finish. It's the most scrutinized book in the history of the world. And
Yeah.
I can promise you there have been hundreds and thousands of people who have tried to discredit that Bible, and they can't.
But they can't because it isn't real, because it's stories.
They would vehemently disagree with you.
I understand, but the history isn't real history because you can't track it.
Right.
It's a story. It's been passed down by generations, and tribal stories are inaccurate at their best,
Right.
let alone when they started 400 years
a lot
later.
a lot of these stories that are in the Bible are congruent with other books out there. The Quran. There's a lot of similarities in
But it's because the stories are similar.
they're
they're
it's all the
past-
same.
they're
I'm
from
thinking
the
you're
same region.
absolutely right. It's just a collection, like you said. I don't necessarily call it fables, but they are a collection of life experiences that were gathered for moral purposes.
Okay, so that has more factual base than anything else because all they were doing was they look up, they've no bounding on anything, zero. North Star, whatever it is, zero. You know jack shit about the universe at that moment. You don't have science. You don't have anything.
Well, you
can
say
hardly
that,
write.
but
No, the
they've-
majority of the population, they only understand certain
majority,
languages.
but, I
they
mean-
cannot, no, not even the majority, though.
But
You're talking
you
about
can't explain
fractional
how
humans
the
cannot write.
Egyptian temples were built when you've got.
That's about hard work. That isn't about, that's about
I'm
physics.
not just talking about. Oh, yeah, well, but they're correlated. They're designed so that they match. Like,
But it's physics.
They're aligned like the robe, the stars in the sky. They're aligned where they face north and south, and they've got all these. I mean, there are so many things that we don't know. It's hard to say. It's kind of like, does God exist? You're like, all right, well, let's say
They needed
let's draw
to
a big
believe.
circle. Let's draw a big circle, and let's make a wedge of all the things that we know in life. And then you're going to draw that little wedge, and then you say, all right, well, is it fair to say that that other 99% of that wedge you don't know? So
Here's the
you
thing:
can't
when you're
disqualify it.
when you're in the middle of the desert, you're dying of thirst, you have nothing to eat, and you look up in the sky and you go, "Holy fuck, this cannot be it," and you go and you make something up, because here's the thing: that's the nature of being a human being. You have to have something to grasp a hold of, and then you start, and then the next thing, a fucking rabbit shows up, and you go and you find some water, and you go, "Well, this just can't be just coincidence." Now I'm telling stories about it. This is
Oh.
fucking amazing.
So you got Stockholm syndrome with the rabbit.
No, I don't give a fuck about the
Stockholm.
rabbit. I'm just saying there's not too many rabbits in the desert, but whatever in the fuck it is I'm just saying there's like we as human beings are naturally we naturally track to the things that feel good and we want.
Yep.
We don't have any fucking proof. And we find out later most of the time that this is total horseshit. Not because we're like, oh my God, I really don't want that to be horseshit. It's because you base your whole fucking life on the belief and you're like, oh, really? At the end of the day, it's really about being nice to people, really. It's like saying, oh, I need to take care of that. That's just a human instinct. It's not something that I needed something book to tell me about it.
Yeah.
Like for real. I'm just
there's a lot of people out there that
Oh, well, I'm aware.
It's a lifestyle.
It is.
And, you know, I'm not, I mean, I don't go to church. I subscribe to the philosophies of church. You know, we used to participate, we being dudes like us, we used to participate in doing Bible studies.
Sure.
But the Bible study, to me, I mean, not necessarily for Paul, I'm not speaking for Jeff, but for me, it was more about the message of being a better person for myself and my family than
Every
it
day.
was for anything. You know, it was just because it's a cleansing. It's a spiritually cleansing. When I say spiritual, I'm not talking about the Word of God or anything like that. I'm talking about my inner self. It's cleansing for me. It's kind of like
I
a
get it.
reboot.
I get it.
You know,
100%.
but my point, there's a correlation here I'm trying to drive at, is that I feel that the humans or people that are involved in it, it's a necessity. When they go to church, it is a mental reboot every single, whether they believe it or not, it
Oh, I
doesn't
get
fucking
it.
matter. Because you know what? The power of suggestion is
It's
stronger than
fucking
anything.
human. It's fucking human.
You know, so when you go in
Yeah.
there and it's a reboot and they get recalibrated and realigned and your chakras are all set in place and you leave the place and you take on the week and you're not killing anybody.
I understand. I'm just saying the
Pretty low bar there.
but
Yes.
but listen,
I mean,
Listen,
Murder is
all I'm
is
talking
about
about-
bar.
Right.
what my question is like when you wipe out history, it's emotion.
Yeah.
All of the things that we as humans do are based on emotions. The critical thinking that goes along with these things, it's not really as compelling because most people don't do it. But emotions, those shit rules our entire universe.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, I think in today's world, emotions are ruling the
Yeah.
political spectrum more than it ever has.
Yeah, they're fucking everything
Oh,
up.
for sure.
That's because everybody's fucking sensitive.
It is. They're
I'm
too
so
sensitive. And
I can't have pineapples on my pizza.
I mean, shit
oh,
annoys me.
Heavens to Murgatroyd.
Yes, that's right. That offended me.
It did. I'm sorry.
So-
It's in your house too. I'm
I mean,
really sorry.
I keep going back to that one mental image where a president is speaking on the floor of the House, or Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, is speaking on the floor, and half of the people are standing there cheering,
Yeah.
and half of the people are sitting. To me, emotion,
Yeah.
because
It's-
there's no way
it's
there
retarded.
isn't one person on that side of the aisle that doesn't agree with Kevin McCarthy's vision of
That went. Oh, that was a good idea.
yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's make America a stronger place to live.
They should be-
Crickets on
That's-
one side.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's all 100% emotion, 100%, and that's why I can't respect politicians because they toe the
Right.
company line
So okay. So
and it's all emotion based.
I'm just going to connect this, and again, I kind of throw fire at things sometimes.
yeah, you
But
do.
if you don't respect the politics, you can't respect a religion as either. They're the same. Because if you have multiple religions on the planet and Muslims,
I get it. I know where you're going.
they're saying 100%. They're absolutely the same.
So I take it you're an atheist then.
No, I honestly, I really like to fuck with things. I really do.
Right. So what?
I don't give a shit about.
So how
it.
would you characterize yourself then? I mean, do you?
I put good things in the world.
No,
No. Honestly, I put good things in the world. I believe in reaching my hand out. I believe in putting others in front of myself. I pay my people before myself. I believe in taking care of other human beings. I just believe in being as good as you can be at any given moment, even when it's tough. And I think those are the things that fuel a population to like improve and do positive things no matter what.
And I think anytime you don't, and you're slipping off the edge. I call it slipping off the edge a little bit, where you're being selfish. I think
That's all life is.
I think it's personal. I think anytime you're selfish, that's a personal moment.
It's an
you know?
internal.
And it depends how selfish it is. I mean, if you're selfish to the point where you're stealing, all right, well, that's a problem. If it's selfish enough where you're taking, and stealing
taking
means taking
advantage.
something from other people.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be money. It could be
Time.
time. It could be.
I ate the
you know-
piece of pizza other than somebody else. I did whatever it is.
Whatever.
We do this shit all day, right?
Yeah,
You
pizza
took
was
That's
my
good.
all I'm
sausage.
saying is
Marco's pizza was good tonight.
all of the. It was very good, man. So I just like to fuck with shit because no, it isn't about atheism. It's really about understanding where does that come from. Why is that true? Why is it necessary? Honestly, because it has been necessary for most humans to need something to change themselves because they don't. The fortitude is lacking, and so for me, that it's like the discipline of a Navy SEAL. It's the discipline
And the fortitude is
Yeah.
lacking exponentially
in a
every
game,
generation.
of course, because
Like right now,
because you
this
disconnect.
generation is I don't want to say they're the worst generation, but they are the most lacking
I
when
would
it
agree
comes
with
to
that.
fortitude.
They're
This
lackadaisical.
generation,
No, extremely.
every generation, it's the dilution, right, of right and wrong.
Well, I also think that there are resets that happen, right?
Always.
And I think we're coming closer to that point where what's the thing? Hard times generate
Make strong people.
strong people create easy times or something like that, right? I think we're at an easy time now that's creating weak people, and weak people create hard times. So I think things, whether it's in our life or maybe at the end of our life, things are going to change. I think
That's the nature.
Yeah, and
of-
that's a cycle.
Well, why
It
would
is.
it?
Yeah.
Why would it? When you see the crimes that are happening and the soulless conniving evil that's out there, what makes you think something's going to change? Like something's going to reset?
Hold
I'll
on.
give you an example. Let me give you one example. So this guy is leaving the gym, and there's 4 teenage girls talking about how they need a ride.
Are they
des-
over 18?
Yeah, they do what?
Are they over 18?
I don't know. I think they were 14, 15.
Ooh, deal breaker.
And really, and so they desperately need a ride, blah 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 blah,
Uber.
and so this guy decides to give him a ride, and so where they're going are 2 males waiting to rob him. All part of the same group.
Sure. Yeah, that
So,
happens.
okay.
That's fucked up.
Okay, so
and right,
Go
and
ahead.
so he starts to recognize that this is something shady here, and two girls jump out. One's still in the car. He speeds away while they're and we're shooting at him. But something else happened where the girl attacked him in the car or something crazy. I mean, unbelievable.
I think that's an isolated moment. I mean,
I don't
happens.
think so. I think I'm reading more and more shit like this every day in the news.
Well,
that's true.
It's the foundation of all these TV shows out there too. You see it all the time where these groups they work in teams.
So just that as an example, and I know I'll let you jump in.
No
second,
worries.
Because I know you want to say something. So just in that example, what is going to change that allows a reset to happen?
Well, now when I say all of it's not going to change.
I think
it's not going to be a wholesale 100%. Everyone's going to go, yeah, we were assholes.
Totally get that.
No,
totally
you're talking about
so
degradation.
you're always going to have the bad elements. Always. That's always going to be there. That shit's always going to be there. But what I'm talking about is you see it in the generations where
a new generation of parents
were complete lackadaisical. Hey, go party, go do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, they blew
a lot of those kids turn up to be more conservative when they get older because they're like, yeah, it didn't work, right? So that as they get older, they become the opposite of their parents, and they kind of reset.
And they're not going to do what their parents did.
Correct.
They're going to be better parents.
Correct.
And they're going to teach.
That's
their
not
kids
always the
this and
case.
that.
I mean, they have.
I'm not saying always. I think it happens a lot, though. I think you'll see
does.
between these two.
But the
between these
cliche
generations.
is victims of victims. You know, and a lot of people out there kind of that doesn't always happen.
Oh no!
If I were to draw a graph of this, I would say it's a continuously downslope, but there's probably little burps, right? Up a little bit, down, up a little bit, down, up a little bit, and those little up a little bits are probably resets, like you're talking.
Right.
But to me, it's
we're still down.
Oh, it's a steep
I think
downhill.
the biggest reset has
curve.
nothing to do with morality. I think it has everything. Well, somewhat with morality. I think the biggest part is I think that the government is getting so big, and they want so much control, and they want to harvest the citizens as
Soylent Green
as tax makers. So look at everything they're doing.
Sorry, I had
they
to
want
finish
they
that.
want to take away our guns. They want to
Yeah, but how is that
track money.
How is that contributing to?
Hold on. They want to take away our guns. They want to track money. They want to be able to shut you down.
Okay.
They want to be able
Control
to shut
you.
They
Control
want to take away money. First of all, they want to take away tangible money and make everything digital. All right. And now they're talking like they want to take away gas for your stove. They want to control everything.
Yes, they want to control you. So how does that contribute to the downward slide of humanity?
I think that slowly but surely it's going to get into socialism, and I think that socialism will eventually harvest a reset where we'll bust out again and we'll start a new phase if we don't melt the world first.
So back.
What do you think the Romans did?
Yeah, they were quite
too much freedom.
Sexual,
too much liberty.
Well, I was supposed to go back to. I was like, well, the Romans were very debaucherous, right? I mean, it was.
What do you think this is?
That's what I mean. I mean, was Roman
a form of
Empire, and they fell. The Roman Empire fell.
That's exactly
did they
what.
ever-
But that is,
did they
by the
ever
way, that's what you're getting
explain-
at.
Yeah.
That is
like, is there
exactly
ever
what
a
Jeff's getting at.
definitive moment or that why the Roman?
It was Nero. He watched
because
them
they were-
fall.
it was
They were-
COVID.
They were what they
It's
were. He was
COVID-20.
watching the erosion of the empire.
Yeah,
They were watching a softening of, and you had idealists who didn't want that, and so they. I mean,
Well,
it's-
they probably
eventually
had
they
their
had to be
leaders.
conquered by somebody.
here's the thing.
Well, they had their leaders. They probably
Egypt.
killed the leaders, and then they found that, oh my God, we don't have anybody to lead us anymore, and
Well,
we
they
don't
had
know
to
what
have
to
been
do.
conquered by somebody. They didn't just like
Oh,
they didn't
slow.
just like
Mongolians?
It was slow.
like
Well,
stop ruling and they all
Sorry,
went
I
home.
didn't mean
well,
cut
the
you off.
Roman Empire was huge, right?
Huge.
And then it started.
It contracted.
It was doing this.
Same thing with the Greeks. Alexander the Great, right? The Greek Empire was the same way. It was
Well, there was a lot of
overextended.
hatred for the Romans because they were going out so far,
They're
and they started
imperialists.
conquering.
That's what all the libs are calling England in the U.S.
Yeah.
But Mr.
Or
Producer, I
imperialists.
mean, you went to school later than we did. Why did the Roman Empire fall?
But
did
wait,
it get conquered by somebody? Did you ever take that class?
But you get what I'm getting at, right?
What they fell from within.
No.
No, they just
No,
they imploded.
history is and will always be the repeat of the exact same. Humans are the
Yes.
same.
We're
They will
our own
always be
worst
the
enemy.
same. I don't care whether you're Cleopatra. If you think about, not that I'm going back to the Bible, it tells the same story about the same shit all the time.
Right?
Every single thing that you experience in life is exactly the same thing that happened
2,000 years ago.
or longer.
Or longer.
With
Way before that.
beggars have been beggars, thieves have been thieves, merchants have been merchants. Every single thing on the planet has always been the same. It will always be the same.
Right.
There is absolutely
Good people,
nothing.
evil people,
There was absolutely nothing except the explosion of population itself.
and
then,
technology that makes it a little more
well,
visible.
to be honest, it's just the variability of the outlets for that. Because whether it was grapes or wine or different things, I don't care what it is. But ultimately, humans do the wrong shit with the right stuff over and over.
Yeah.
And you collapse and you build and you collapse and
Well,
you build.
the three major
It's coming for
components
this
of
country.
collapsing
It's
is
coming for every country.
it's political instability, economic and social issues, and then the weakening of our borders.
And TikTok.
No, those are the three. Three: political instability,
We had TikTok.
that's
social and economic
Yeah, I had to
failures,
slide that in
and the
there.
weakening of the borders. And that is why the Roman Empire fell.
Well, that's kind of what's happening now, right?
It's
That's
exactly what's happening.
right now.
That's exactly what's
I
happening.
think we
now.
just got the ding, ding, ding.
yeah. Ding, ding, ding,
That's
ding,
my
ding, ding.
point. I mean,
Do those again. Do those again. I know you looked them up, but they're very profound.
It's
Say
a
that again.
political instability.
Right.
What do you have to say that for?
Because you.
Sean wanted to look like he was.
I
He
could have just
knew
been the
something.
authority over here, just producing
I think
factoids.
I think we all know.
I was like the Cliff Clavin over here.
We all know better.
Cliff
Yeah,
Clavin.
sorry.
Hasn't he posted service about 15 years now? Political instability,
Okay.
economic and social problems, and the weakening of the borders.
Economic and social problems. Okay.
Political instability, economic and social, and border failures. Being able to protect your home.
Oh, just the three.
Yeah, those are the three.
Those are
Really? They list border failures as
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, think about
No,
it. The,
what
Roman,
would
the
the
Roman
totally
Totally screwing
Empire.
ourselves here.
Well, the Roman Empire was huge,
Huge.
and it just it collapsed in.
Well,
People just kept
huge,
taking over.
And they were
It-
all
We'll go
new.
back to
There's a little bit
federal
more.
and state government. We'll go back to federal and state
Yeah,
government.
yeah. So
So we bought companies that were 150 million in gross revenue and below. And there was a very distinct reason for that. It's because beyond that, you lose control of those organizations. You have to get a hierarchy in place. Now more people are involved with the decision making.
And then it goes to shit.
Yeah, because humans are going to go and take and do what they need to do. And now you have variability within the structure. And then you have degradation because you can't control it.
So really, the only answer here is that Texas becomes its own country.
Fuck
again.
yeah, dude. 100%.
All right. All right. Well, then, where do we sign up for that?
I think we already did.
We did.
I think we're pretty close to it.
Yeah, I think you're there.
I love wearing that shirt.
I think the fact that you live here is that we were there.
I have the shirt that says "Make Texas a Country Again,"
Yeah, I mean,
and
fuck
it's
yeah.
like pink, just like the MAGA shirt, you know.
Yeah.
And I love wearing it because I get such a reaction from people, and it's always positive.
Right.
Always positive.
Yeah, always.
I've always gotten.
I love it.
I've gotten some nasty looks when I wear my "fuck Joe Biden" shirt.
God damn, I love that.
So
Well, but you don't. But it doesn't say "fuck Joe Biden."
well, it says Foxtrot, Juliet Bravo, and the people who look at it and understand what those mean.
How many people would
I-
know that though?
Well,
That's
I wear
surprising.
mine out. I don't know.
I still find that
I
surprising.
don't know if you wear yours out or not.
I wear
have,
mine.
I have not.
Every
I-
time I have to take my dad to the VA, I wear it, and all
Yeah.
those motherfuckers know it.
Yeah.
I walk through there and I see the guys on wheelchairs going, "Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go."
Yeah,
Yeah.
people that haven't talked in 10 years. I didn't know you could speak.
But I get all kinds of comments for the people who like it. The people who don't, I can tell because they glare at me. They don't comment, but they're just like, and they'll steer around me.
It's
and I can
very hurtful.
tell, yeah. They don't say anything to me.
And
but,
do you say, Beto 2024?
You whip your dick out and smack him with it.
helicopter?
Get away.
Yeah.
Boom. Drop the mic.
So speaking of Biden, what do you
Oh
think's
my
going to happen
gosh.
with his little top secret thing?
Nothing. I think it dies down.
I
This
don't-
one's gotten more attention than previous scandals,
Well,
but it will eventually just die down.
I don't think it will. I think it's going to percolate into something. There's going to be he's going to be held. What you know? What here's what I want to know.
Oh, boy.
There's some
Ooh, you got
there's some
passion.
interviews. There's some interviews going on, and when they talk about the thing, well, this isn't the same as the Trump thing. I'm like,
Right.
well, damn straight, it's not the
No,
Trump
it's
thing.
not. It's
But
worse.
That's what I'm saying. But they're kind of insinuating that it's not. And I'm like, well, first of all, Donald Trump was
called
president of the United States, and when he took those documents out of the office, he had the authority to declassify
Yes.
them. Okay, and
Biden
at the
was
time
the
they were in his
VP.
office, they were declassified.
Correct.
Dipshit is the one that classified them after they learned that they were there.
Well, who did?
Oh, he reclassified them.
He reclassified them while they were over there. That's the reason why they was such a big deal.
So every president could go. Every document prior to me is now classified. We need them all back. Is that what the precedent he's stating?
I guess that's what
who? Oh, you're saying Biden classified the
Correct.
documents that Trump had declassified
Correct.
as president?
because they were.
I've never heard that.
I have.
I never heard that. Now, the big stink against Biden is he had classified documents that he does not have the authority to declassify as vice president.
He didn't
when
have
they
the
were-
authority to take them off premises.
Yeah, nor could he declassify them. So they definitely are not declassified because he didn't have the authority to do that. So, and it's like, are they
So-
in 5 different places or 5 different documents?
Well, they keep finding
No,
them.
They keep finding
there's
them.
3 different areas from what I understood right now. And why are they breaking down? Why are they tearing apart the? I shouldn't say dismantling. Should be better. The museum or something that he has.
UPenn.
Yeah. Why are they taking that down right before his presidency ends?
I heard I heard that the Chinese are funneling a lot of money through that.
Yeah, and that's really comforting to know there's top secret classified documents in that building where
Correct.
China has some sort of foothold.
Correct.
Dude, he's been okay. We already know Hunter Biden was paid by the Chinese, and the Chinese explicitly wanted an audience and influence with Joe Biden.
All right, but
That was the sole purpose of
Hunter
China
Biden-
working through Hunter Biden.
but what specifically? It was the electric car battery cobalt.
What?
Is that right?
I'm sure there was a
That
ton
was
of
the
things.
energy thing that they bought into.
I'm sure
Oh,
there
I
was a
don't
ton
know.
of things to make the
That
Biden,
was why he made
Biden
the $1 billion,
family.
wasn't it?
Burisma?
No,
Is that Burisma?
Burisma.
No, that was separate. This is with the Chinese.
Yeah, that's Ukraine.
That was
Oh, this is a different one.
this
all
is a different one. That's why when he was on the plane with Joe Biden, he went off to China on Air Force One, and he was
nice.
doing his own negotiation. And he walked back, and that's when the whole famous line came from Joe was like, "Don't forget 10% for the big guy over here."
Oh, yeah.
He reminds me of one of the
Happy
dudes on the Muppet
birthday
Show.
to you.
The two guys in the
What was
That
her-
is
Oh,
fucking
that
Muppet.
was-
what
That's
was
the
her-
old dude.
yeah, the
The
two
old
guys up
Harry
in
and
the
whatever the fuck her name was.
God damn.
Well, did you see him singing "Happy Birthday"?
That's
And then
why I
he
know.
didn't even know who the fucking person's birthday was.
That's Martin
Happy
Luther-
birthday, dear
Is Martin Luther King's
It was
daughter?
so
is that
bad. It was
is that who he was singing to?
Oh,
Martin Luther King's daughter.
I think it was. It was so bad.
Joe Biden is like a movie star
Poor-
that nobody wants to
guy.
correct.
Dude, he's
You know?
he's not there. He's dementia.
I think that he's just happy to get his tapioca pudding every day at 3.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tapioca.
And he's leading the world's he's the leader of the free world.
Well, he's
Think
about to take off to
about
North Island right
the
now.
people that actually talked themselves into saying, "That's the dude right there.
Oh yeah, he got the most votes in
He-
history. 81 million votes.
That's the dude right there.
That's
Let's do
who
it.
I want.
Let's do this."
I never saw him on TV because he was in his basement,
basement.
the entire election, but that is 100% who I want.
There has to be a buyer's remorse going on there. There has to be.
Of
Cognitive
course not.
dissonance.
Are you kidding me? The alternative was Trump. Evil Orange Man Trump.
Orange Man bad. Yeah, I
Orange
know.
Man bad.
And that's what I fear if Trump runs again. Is there's such a machine already in place
Yep.
to fight
Attack.
him.
Yeah. And DeSantis.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't want him as president, but
Well,
it's going to
and
be
that's
hard
the
for
hard
him.
part is that I want him as president, but it's so
To
divisive.
be honest,
I wanna-
you don't want him as president. You want what he.
I want his
Can-
policies.
his platform.
Yeah, you want someone who has those capabilities and stones.
Yeah, I want the
but
tenacity.
not that
yeah.
fucking. He's a full-blown narcissist.
Dude, we say
Yeah.
Trump without
But
the
they're all
tweets.
narcissists.
No. He is a full-blown fucking narcissist.
And he's a 12-year-old
weird.
bully.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a
a
bully.
weird
Yeah.
motherfucker.
He is.
But fundamentally, that strength, backbone, willingness to go to battle, like understanding
He has
where the
scruples,
the drivers of the universe are, those are absolutely badass. That individual is what has embodied them, which he is just a fucking retard.
Well, that's why we say Trump without the tweets.
Yep.
Yeah, he.
That's
Just
that's,
Trump without
that
Trump
was
without
that-
the personality.
that epitomizes everything you're saying.
Yeah, the
And now he's back. Trump tweeting away.
Yeah.
the elements.
Is he on Twitter again?
Yep.
But here's what's disappointing. Here's what's disappointing.
When did that happen?
I'm going to go back to power.
This past month.
Power.
So here's the thing that's disappointing. There are other people out there that have that capability.
Oh yeah.
But
Who?
I couldn't
Someone out there.
I couldn't strap a name on it. What I'm saying is there are other people that have that capability,
Who?
but they care too much about opinion and power and maintaining those things or image, and so they are unwilling to go to the lengths that true narcissism will lead you to go
All right,
to.
well, let's go around the table.
Yep.
Let's. All right, we'll give you guys next Republican president. Who would be, in your opinion, outside of Trump, outside of DeSantis, who do you think could fill his shoes?
Why outside of DeSantis? Why do you say that?
Because he's an easy one to say, and frankly, I don't think he has the.
Well, who else was out there? Who's even considering running? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I could think of
Jeb Bush,
Oh God, don't say that.
Well, I mean, no,
We-
but
we
you,
like
Rick
that.
Perry.
no, but you have Ted Cruz.
Uh,
Ted Cruz may do a good job.
He would be a
Trey,
solid. He would be a solid pick.
Trey Gowdy, I would like. Fuck Bill O'Reilly. I would Bill O'Reilly. I mean,
I
yeah,
think
he's
Bill
a
O'Reilly's
narcissist
another
jackass, but you know what?
narcissist.
He's a smart motherfucker.
what about Jim Jordan?
Jim Jordan would be good. Jim Jordan would be good. Those are
Good.
4.
I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to get back to you on this one.
I don't have a fucking
mean,
clue.
I personally think Trey Gowdy is number 1.
I don't
And you know what?
think
He's
I don't
been,
think he has any interest though in politics anymore, does he?
he's now a Fox.
He's
Fox,
weird looking too.
I'd really
he's like the dude on
no one in
Harry
politics.
No,
Potter.
he's very strange looking.
Austin, pull up Trey Gowdy.
You said that while I was pulling on. We haven't even talked about the bourbon, have we?
Yeah,
Anyway,
we'll get there. Trey Gowdy, Geo. There you go.
He's got some spunky hair.
Yeah. Well, he's well bearded too. You should see some of the.
Oh, is he well bearded now?
Oh well, I mean, it goes back and forth. He's got a million looks. When he grows his hair long, he looks like the dude from Harry Potter, his
Yeah.
nemesis.
Yeah,
That's a man, baby.
I can see that. No, he's solid. I mean, but I don't think he's.
And he's
I don't think he's presidential material.
I don't know, man. He's got a set of balls on him. Have you heard? You've heard him?
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard
Oh,
him
yeah.
question. Oh, look at him. Yeah, he's Malfoy right there.
That's exactly who he is.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, so it's Trey Gowdy. Jim Jordan would be a good shoe, I guess. You know, the thing about it is that Jim Jordan couldn't stand up very well to Matt Gaetz. You know, and that that bothers me.
No, they were in the same camp.
But it bothers me that Jim Jordan gave up the thing and didn't continue the fight about McCarthy.
Well, maybe he got
getting
what he
in.
wanted.
Hold on.
But
hold on.
why
hold on.
aren't they more transparent on what they wanted? Why did Matt Gaetz back down? What did they promise him?
I don't think
That's
Matt
what I
Gaetz
fucking
did
want to know.
back down, did he?
Oh, he said present, but he
No, no,
back-
no. He got what he got what he wanted.
Yeah.
What?
So they have
listed it all.
oh they have a whole list of them.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I had that in front of me. It's great. It's good for the country.
Yeah, he said it in the
So
text.
they voted like 11 times
Yeah.
for the speaker. There was 11,
15.
15. Fuck, 15 times for the speaker of the
I
House.
love it.
And
They did not relent. They were like, you will put these things in place. You will promise to set these rules in place for the American people, or we will not vote for you.
Oh.
And they did
I
it
don't trust
15
McCarthy
times.
one single bit. I think he's a fucking
Well,
piece
there's-
of shit snake.
They're saying so far he's living up to his promises.
Well,
He's been in office 2 fucking weeks, man.
no,
well-
but he's already Jim Gates or Matt Gates has been I'm
I think
very
Jimmy.
very happy.
I think Jimmy the Fish went over to Matt Gaetz and said, "Hey, guess what? You fucking vote over here. You're gonna wake up in the trunk of somebody's fucking car."
Well, I like. I
He
really,
won.
I
He
really
won.
like that. McCarthy said even 6 months ago, he goes, when I become Speaker of the House, Swalwell, Omar, Schiff
Are getting off their
are
Get
gone.
them the fuck out.
Well,
Fuck
he did it. He
They're off
booted
their
them,
committee assignments, and
Yeah.
boom, they're out.
and they're gone.
Yeah, they should, and rightfully so. And Adam Schiff, you said Adam Schiff, right?
Yeah, Schiff's gone.
Adam, get that pencil neck out.
Yeah, I mean,
bug-eyed fucking
retribution's
cocksucker.
coming, man.
Piece of shit. Fucking. Did you know? You guys know Adam Schiff? His fucking daughter married George Soros' son.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Oh my God.
That's world order shit, man.
Yeah, did you see that George Soros just bought all of the, not about all, but quite a bit Hispanic radio stations?
Oh, good. So now he's
Oh,
trying
it's
to.
the power of suggestion he's going to start
Correct.
doing down there.
And there's one specific.
Come up north and get to Bill Biden.
There's one specifically in Miami. There's one specifically in Miami that was a conservative Hispanic
I
radio
don't think you
station.
should do that twice. All right, sorry.
I don't
Go
either.
ahead, Jeff.
There's one specifically in Miami that was a conservative Hispanic station,
Let me shut it down.
and he bought it, and the on-air talent quit. That says we're not going to be part of this because we know he's changing the format to liberal or whatever.
So he wins. Soros wins.
Yeah,
That's
so-
why he did it. He
so-
wants to
so
shut
he-
down conservative voices.
So he spent $40 million or whatever it was, and he bought 40 stations across the country, bunch in Texas, bunch in Florida, that have the big Hispanic populations, right?
Because they're losing the Hispanic
By the way,
vote.
Correct.
I'm going to give you another route. Think about the fact that you can be influenced by the radio.
Oh, easily.
No.
But
I listen to talk radio every day.
Yeah. People listen to us. They're influenced by us. What we're saying right now.
Well, we have 4 listeners. 1 is influenced.
No, we have more
what
than
I'm
four.
what I'm getting at
The
is
5,000.
it's the core of human beings. This fucking shit is really like it's the same shit every day. Human beings can be influenced by words of other human beings
It's the power
without
of
fucking critical
suggestion.
thinking.
Oh,
They go
100%. Yeah, I understand.
This bourbon is good.
Disappointing. And if I
Oh.
say it 7
this beer is
times,
horrible.
I say it 7 times,
Paul is
you're
straight.
more likely to start pay attention. Yeah.
I'm,
Well, if you
Oh
tell
my
a
God,
lie,
I'm
if
gay.
you tell a lie enough times, it becomes truth, right?
I'm just saying, like, think about how that's like so
You're
fucking
such a
disappointing. It's so fucking disappointing, right? That today you still can be influenced by that.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true because you see the whole Facebook, Twitter thing, and I got off of everything back in 2015.
Well, some people have
because-
willpower for sure.
because I was reading this and I would respond, and I'm like, and I came to the realization, I am never convincing them. They're never going to convince me,
right.
no matter what they say or whatever stat they put in front
So
of
people
me.
do have critical thinking skills.
So
I
I'm
mean,
just like, this is not
No.
gonna happen.
No. If you give them someone that they respect, who has an opinion, that's when critical thinking starts.
well,
It
that's
isn't. It isn't when you don't respect someone. It's when you respect someone and still question it.
that's critical thinking. You're saying.
Fucking A.
And I
Well,
do,
and my point,
do
and my
have that.
point is that is
Fucking
out
A.
there. Now, I wouldn't say it's prevalent.
No.
Like I don't know what percentage I would put at it. Like
Mm,
out of the populace,
single digits.
out of the-
Single digits.
out of the populace that is even awake,
Single digits.
guys. I would say only 30% of the populace is even awake, meaning they don't vote. They don't give a shit about politics.
it's kind of
They
hard
don't. They're not even awake.
when you're working 50 hours a week.
Exactly. They don't give a shit about any of the stuff we're talking about. They're just trying to get through the 2 jobs that they have, get fucking food on the table, get their kid to stop doing some bullshit that they're doing in school that gets them suspended. You know what I mean? There's so much burden and weight on the regular person in the United States. They don't give a shit about it. They don't even have time to think about the stuff we're talking
These
about.
are the reasons I pay attention to jack shit from other humans.
Right.
Well,
Honest.
that's why I think the libs have been able to get away with what they have over the last several
Yeah,
decades.
because people are asleep.
because no one has been paying attention.
That's right.
And then COVID and the shutdown kind of
Woke some
opened
people
their
up.
eyes up, especially with the schools.
Yeah, we're being controlled here. Our kids are being controlled here.
Like,
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, and I think that opened the eyes again. Not for
We have a
everybody.
grown ass man taking a shower next to a 14-year-old girl
At
in
YMCA.
a fucking YMCA.
Yep.
And
then
they-
when
and they-
she,
and
and
they-
when
and they
she
blamed her.
complains, what happened when she complained?
She
They
gets
blamed
shamed.
her. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Gets
Yeah.
shamed.
In a YMCA.
That is
Ugh.
like, I'll tell you what, the father of that 14-year-old did it I don't want to say the correct way, but he did it the legal way. You know, I don't think it's the correct way. I would have gone to that transgender and ended it for him.
You would have dismembered him.
I would
Let's
have.
make you a real girl.
Talk about the power.
Okay.
Love the noise.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. But
do we know for sure that's the noise it makes?
Yeah.
That's where I want
I've
to.
only done it 6
so wait.
times.
So why? So if he believes that he's a woman, but he doesn't care about the 14-year-old girl, right?
Well, how do you know that?
No, I'm just saying. If he believes
I'll
that
tell
he's
you
a
what.
woman,
What is that jackass? That's the swimmer, the male swimmer that's on the swim
Thomas.
team. All right, that
I'm a
jackwagon
strong
is
swimmer.
walking around in the female locker room with an erection.
I think the exact wording was, his anatomy definitely was working. It worked, or something to that effect.
But
Is
wait,
what the women were saying.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Man, look, I get what you. No,
Oh,
from what I
well-
understand, you're saying that if a person believes that they're a woman, then they are a woman.
No.
What is the
no,
definition of woman?
No, I'm just saying the reason that you would care. So
What if he was a
I
lesbian?
could take a shower next to
Look.
my daughter, and you would never think twice about it.
Well, how
Well,
old is she?
I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
We're not in the same stall, right?
Yes, they were
Yeah,
all.
no,
yes.
these are locker rooms.
They were like so. This guy was
Oh,
just
no
walking
separation.
around. No, this guy was just walking
this
around
is like
with
a
his
football
junk.
locker room, like shower heads in a big community
Yeah.
stall.
So
No,
he
that's
was-
not true.
No.
They were separate.
No, she was showering. She came out and he was walking around the locker room.
Yes.
fully.
That's what it was. It was a locker room. There wasn't an open room
Oh, so
shower.
he-
There were individual
so
showers
he,
with the
he
curtain.
was still a he.
nude. Correct.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
no,
had-
she was showing his junk.
No, he's walking around with her cock and balls. I don't think cock and balls need to be around my kids.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit wrong judgment. Just yeah.
I don't think it's appropriate. I don't think
Okay.
my 14-year-old needs to be subjected to that. Especially look, there's more context than just that.
Yeah, I
They
agree
have
with
like
that.
day camp there. Where you have
No, I agree
hundreds
with
of
that.
kids.
Five,
that
I
are
thought
you were
circling through
saying-
there.
I don't know why I had a vision in my mind where there was separation in the
There
stalls.
was privacy.
Someone
No.
showering, and then
No, it's
but
not
no,
a-
uncovered.
It's not a
yeah, it's-
co-ed locker room.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
a little,
a female's locker room where little
yeah.
girls are in there.
That's like him
And
being
that's
a
With a
inappropriate.
selfish.
grown man walking around.
That's like
showing
him
his
being
junk.
selfish.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah, that's like him being selfish
Well,
and
here's the
being
thing.
like, "Well, I'm a woman. I'm going to do it." But you're
Yeah,
really
you're not a woman.
Right.
You're a dude.
I
all right?
okay.
demand.
Okay.
Despite the
Cock
fact.
and balls going here, vagina's
But-
going
Right.
here.
But okay, so just out of so absolutely poor judgment and perspective on the universe. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, right?
And the interesting thing about that is you would think that somebody.
Harmful, yes.
Yeah,
but-
you would think that somebody in that position, right? It's already an uphill battle for a man to identify as a woman yet still have male anatomy. Like if they really wanted to be accepted and they wanted it to be normalized, they would stay within the confines that wouldn't create controversy.
He would have been
You would-
modest
you
and
would
covered
think-
himself.
Yes, you would think they would do everything they
Sexuality
possibly
should
could
be a
to.
very personal thing.
You would
That's
actually
very
respect. You would actually respect the females as an incoming potential female. You would appreciate and understand and be like, "Yeah, I really wouldn't want to do that to a 14-year-old girl because I identify as
Totally.
a girl,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't want that around me."
Totally.
Yes.
And I don't want to create a stir, but I've been a girl my whole life, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna go overboard
Mm-hmm.
to respect to avoid controversy.
Well,
No,
it's probably
because I want to.
well, it's probably the
Yes.
mindset of I'm going to do it because I can,
That's right.
and they
That's
can't do anything.
That
the
is, I
problem.
believe, that's always been my thought about the Democratic Party. It's not a matter of what right or wrong. It's a matter of what they can get away with.
right.
I can get away with this, and that it's kind of like the damn football game. We're going to get away with canceling this football game because of this unfortunate incident. That's a big stretch.
Wow.
well,
But
yeah.
I was
whoa,
sitting
that was
there.
Was
but
it
I
the
was
base of that emotion?
Yes, but that's what they strive on. And I say the Democrats, and I hate demonizing any certain political group because there are demons on both sides of the aisle. But I am not
You can bet on that,
for
motherfucker.
more government. I am for less government. I am for less taxes. And I am on the right side of the aisle. And I believe I'm on the correct side of the aisle, not just the right.
I want to go back. I know you went like there was a hard analogy there to the
the football.
Damar Hamlin.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
DeMar
So
Hamlin, yes.
did like the next week
Oh man.
there was a guy that made a sack and he was on the
It was the Steelers.
yes, and he was laying on the ground and his teammate came over and like acted like he was giving him CPR.
Yes.
Talk about complete lack of self-awareness, and he
Correct.
got torched for it. And he was like, "I'm so sorry. Wasn't even thinking in the moment. I wasn't thinking of that whole Damar Hamlin."
You were thinking about it. You just weren't thinking.
I actually think he wasn't. I don't think he was. I don't know. But then you had the very unfortunate Madden game.
The Madden game. Well, they removed that.
And it was the Bills of all teams.
They removed that.
So there was a
move.
fictional.
Hold on. What are you talking about?
So in the
The
Madden game,
What's Madden game?
Madden, the football
Xbox, the video game.
Well, I
Xbox
don't play
video
that.
game.
That's stupid.
Yeah. So,
play
but in the
Xbox?
Madden game,
No, Madden.
Oh, Madden.
That's stupid.
Yeah. In the Madden game, there was a bill, and keep in mind this is all fictional. I mean, fictional, and they had a Bills touchdown celebration where one of the Bills players was on the ground and they were giving him CPR and he was throwing his arms up while he was being,
Oh God.
and they quickly pointed it out and quickly removed it.
Yeah, they removed that feature.
How unfortunate!
How could they remove it if that's a hard?
It's online.
You know what? I don't give a fuck.
No, coding.
Oh, it's just coding.
Yeah. Hey, you know, in my opinion,
But for it to be
if I
the
can't
Bills,
kill it, I don't want to
That's
play
amazing.
I know.
Anyway, that was quite a crazy that whole Damar Hamlin thing.
Well, I
It's
tell you what.
unfortunate, you know.
Well, I tell you, I'm glad the Bengals are going on, but it's against the Bills, and I'm not looking forward to the build up to this because it's all going to be about that.
Yeah, it's the repeat.
That scenario.
What are you saying? If they advance in the playoffs?
No, they're playing the Bills next,
Yeah.
and this whole week is going to be the build up of the rematch, or this is what happened the last time they played. I'm tired of the whole story at this point.
Well, I
It's
heard
been overused.
I heard when they
I haven't heard the
start the
story.
game, they're starting the game with 4 minutes and 57 seconds left in the first period with the Bengals up 7-3.
Get the fuck out.
I'm kidding. I'm saying that for Jeff's benefit.
But in the pregame, there's going to be a Damar Hamlin ceremony
Man,
or whatever.
like I don't
Oh,
subscribe
shit.
to any of that shit. You know, I mean, look, I think it's too much. It's over the top.
Well, you saw he tried to trademark some.
he did.
things.
He
did he
filed,
get it?
He filed an application.
No, they're never going to be able to file that. What is that? Did we win?
Yeah, did we win?
fuck
Did we
that.
win? And 3 is back.
Yeah, they could take threes back. That's retarded. But did we win?
Do you know what we're talking
can't
about?
trademark that.
So while he's in recovery, I'm going to go ahead and go with his team. Maybe I'm not going to, really, because what he should be thinking about is, wow, I'm alive, and how wonderful is it that I'm alive?
Yes.
And meanwhile, his team is filing applications to trademark 3 is back, that's his number. 3 is back, and did we win, which is the first things he uttered
So they
when
can
he woke up.
sell T-shirts.
So that they can put it on
Right.
sweatshirts and
Make
T-shirts
money.
and make money off of this deal. And to
Fuck outta
me,
here.
when I brought that up to my wife, I was like, this is gross. I get it. Everybody's capitalizing on opportunity. This is a capitalistic society, and and he can get his brand out there, and he can strike while the iron's hot. But to me, it's gross. It's just gross.
Because this is only going to last
This isn't a
a
good
couple
strike.
months for him, right? Because in a year, no one's going to buy a.
After the Super
3 is
Bowl,
back.
nobody gives a fuck.
That's what I mean. So he's got a very short window to try to capitalize on this because next season it may come up again, but he's not going to be able to sell his T-shirts this time next year.
Wait, can he play football still?
Oh.
Well,
Wow,
I don't know why
okay.
he's
I don't
not
know.
playing now. To be honest, I mean, it was a freak deal, but he's healthy, and I don't know why they were.
Wild.
Maybe that's the big thing on this Saturday or Sunday. Maybe Damar Hamlin's back.
No, he won't be back. He's done.
He's done for the
As a
year.
matter of fact, they when you go on injury, you're supposed to get a percentage of what you make.
Oh, they're giving his full contract.
Full contract, which there were people like other players in the league that are like, what the fuck's up with that? I mean, I got hurt, and I didn't get full pay. What's
Well,
different about his situation,
Well,
right?
he
Other
died
than,
twice.
I like
other
the
than he
tunes.
almost died.
Yeah, he died twice. His heart stopped.
Actually, that's false reporting. It never stopped more than once. It stopped on the field. They said that they revived him again at the hospital. That was not true.
Oh, I don't know. I don't care.
I don't care either.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's playoffs time's
Oh,
coming
I'm
up.
excited about some of these matchups. There are
It's
two
it's
good games.
January 17th, and we've got the Super Bowl coming up in about 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
There's 2 more rounds and then the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So they take a break, and then so it's 4 weeks
Yeah.
from this weekend. We didn't touch up on all the stuff we wanted to talk about, the Dudes Like Us, for the January 17th show. We are happy our guest, Mr. RC, Mr. Robert, came out. We didn't talk about the whole thing about mitigation. I mean, it was the whole premise of getting people educated on hiring a mitigating company.
No, we did not talk about
We didn't
that.
touch on any of that.
Anyways,
Or the bourbon. We didn't talk about the
we're
bourbon
talking
either.
about, well, it's old granddad, suck a dick.
Bottles of pod.
We've had it before.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Well, Dudes Like Us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
I'm Jeff.
Roberto.
There you go.
Roberto.
I'm trying to figure out what this song is.
Oh, it's a general song that you don't have to pay for to use.
Thanks for joining us, Robert.
Absolutely.
That was,
Thanks for
that
having
was
me.
insightful.
It really was.
Deep conversation.
I'm weird like that.
Oh, he's weird.
Yeah, but like sometimes it's enjoyable just to kick shit around.
And this is a good form to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I have very few dogs in the actual fight.